everybody, this is objeff with Burkru Studios. I'm back with the Stanley Parable. Last time I had made quite a few mistakes, had no idea what I was doing in the game, and finally found my way out of the office to where I found there was some mind control happening. So I'm going to try to figure out what else we have here.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
Exactly.
And Stanley was happy.
All right, let's see what else we have going on here. Oh, loading screen. So yeah, last time I had made quite a few wrong turns, and the narrator gave me a hard time for it, and I finally found my way out of the office. And I'm back in the office. You gotta be kidding me. I thought I was done with this. I made it out. I gotta go through it again. Hold on. Okay, well, let's see what we gotta do now.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Oh, there's something on that screen. Alright, well, I guess I'm back in the office. I'm gonna go to the meeting room. Let's see how terrible I do this round. We're playing solitaire in there. Alright, let's go.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, this is how the last one started.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
I wonder if the
Feeling
game just
a wave of
resets.
disbelief,
It really did.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
This is exactly... Oh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I have to be able to pick up something here. I think it does replay. There must be multiple endings.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
Yep.
No reason to still be here.
All right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Well, let's see where downstairs leads. There's apparently an achievement to click on a door 438 times or 427 times. I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. Let's see what we got. Fire hose.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Yep.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example,
like
why couldn't he
rooms?
see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
That's right.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
This guy just doesn't shut up.
the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Deep. And I'm still in a garage. Ooh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
So apparently there's...
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
Wow.
I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What just happened? This is crazy. Alright, so apparently, I thought there was more progression. I thought I was going to get outside and do some different stuff, but apparently you start over and you just got to unlock all the story. So I think every time I go through this, I just need to make a new decision. So let's, I got to try to remember what I've done, but I'm going to run through some of these scenarios here and see if I can, I'll see if I can come up with some new stuff.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, so I've done quite a bit of the beginning just because I was a sheer idiot the first few times I've done this.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So I'm going to go this way, and then I'm going to make another decision.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, so that's different. There we go. Let's see what we got in here. Whoa. I got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. So that's a lovely purse. Extreme bathrooms, the Time magazine. Is that it? That's it. No decisions. Just a bathroom. Alright, is there anything over here? So my goal here is to get completely lost. Let's see where the elevator takes me. Let's go up. The elevator music. I wonder how many different ways there are to go in this game. I mean, you can literally go anywhere, and they seem to have a response for everywhere you go. So we'll just keep going. We'll pick a different path. It's a pretty tall building. There's no floor counter. I wonder how long I'll be stuck in here. Oh, wait. I sat in that thing and I didn't go anywhere? That's ridiculous.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
That's right.
What could its purpose be?
I think it was,
In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet.
I wonder what happens when
And
I
so
type
the
something
boss
wrong.
had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Let's see what happens.
Stanley just sat around twiddling it. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Alright, let's see here. So there needs to be another path that I need to go here. I don't need to do the real way. So this should take me down to that special facility with all the TV cameras. And I think there's a... Well, I know at the end there's a power button, whether I can turn off all the cameras or I can turn them, or I guess I can keep them on. So that's probably a good decision. I'm gonna test that out. I'm trying to remember.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape. Let's see what happens when I
Although this
escape.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Great. I'm just gonna keep walking. Why not?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
There's nowhere else to go but down. Alright. I'm doing it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And he wasn't joking about the death. Oh boy, this is a lot of work. So I'm gonna go this way again. It's gonna take forever. Oh no, I'm still alive. What's going on?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay, something happened to the narrator. We got a new one. I didn't die. This game is just so strange. Alright, hey. Did I find another good ending?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I don't know. Who is this chick now?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh, that's crazy. So this is this a layout of the office? Yeah, so this is where I start. Come down the hallway. Oh, is this it? 2 doors, yeah. Yeah. Let me go around the other side. Ooh. Well, I'll come back to that. Okay, so this is the office layout. Blueprint shows the office from the game. Path from Stanley's office to the 2 doors was first. The game is built. Sections have been added to alter throughout the development. Core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. This is like their layout of how they plan the game. That's kind of cool. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the 2 doors in good time. So here's the 2 doors that I always have to make a decision. The left door is the right decision to get out, but the right door opens a whole set of other endings that I could do. So that might be worth exploring again. The set of 2 doors was the very first concrete piece of Stanley's Parables design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of contradiction. This room opposed. So really, that's the whole game. This is how the whole game started. And based off this decision, the narrator takes me on some crazy journey. So let's see if I can play with my computer. It's like all the all the textures. There's Solitaire. There's credits. Here we go, guys. These are the folks who made this game. This is pretty funny. I ended up in a room where it pretty much explained the game. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and synthesized tone. Interesting. This is cool. The office. exciting. Do I go left or right though? There's a cube. Oh, it's like a museum. That's what it is. Of all the props that they used. There's a cubicle. I wonder what they're scanning on here. No butts. Alright. There's some signs. This is just weird. This is kind of a cool way to do the credits. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use those in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. That's pretty bright. From new result. Wow, wait, come back. Were you born with a magnificent voice, or did you bargain with a magician to receive it? And finally, the most important question. These are not answers, though. Are you a rock? Is that it? Will playing Stanley Parable help me make friends? I don't have any friends. Solve Terry. I don't know if that's something you signed. Please, I would like to keep a proposal as top secret. Delete if you are not interested, and get back to me if you are interested for details regarding the transfer of 24,500. It's supposed to be one of those little scams that they do. How do you make a JRPG? How do you make the worst game ever? What is the difference between a duck? Okay. How do you stay in shape? Alright, these are getting a little lame. No offense to the people that wrote the emails. What do the lights on the control room do? I really want to know. That's a great question. Let's see what's over here really quick. Uh-oh. That's never good. Well, that's good information. I pick up the phone. Oh, look at this. An explanation. Obey, disobey. Awesome. And that's a dead end. I don't really know how to get out of here though. Wait, did I go this way? Here we go. I haven't seen half of the endings. We ran out of 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing users. He is preparing a new version. Is there any audio? There's no sound. Just like a joke on me. Get me sit here and watch this. Huh. Alright, well. Is going on there, so I'm gonna go check out the next room. This is just weird. I have no idea how to get out of here though. So there's my office. Came up the stairs. Way down. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to get out of here and do do something a little more exciting than wander around a museum. Alright, let's see. I haven't been over here yet.
For all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you? See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room? Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively when you're having the most fundamental understanding of good to bad. But of course, you being this, you'll probably spend the next hour trying to solve it. Here, I'm just going to make this easy. Sure, we're getting right back on track to where.
Alright, as cool as that would be, I kind of want to get out of here. Okay, so there's the escape I took. But how do I escape from the escape route? Maybe I can go back up. And there's nothing there. Okay, well, I think this might be a pretty good spot to take a break. I'm going to wander around, try to find the exit, so you guys don't have to sit through that. But we're going to end right here on the credits. Let's give these folks some props. This is a pretty cool game. Definitely check it out. And as soon as I find my way out of here, we'll come back with you. Come back with another episode for you guys. This is objeff. Be sure to subscribe to the Burkroot Studios. We have a bunch of different games coming out, and we want you guys to see all of them. Appreciate you watching.